Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the Death's Abyss dungeon with a full tank guide. I'll walk you through everything you need to know to survive, control the battlefield, and come out on top. Let's jump right in. Before we get started, let me say this loud and clear. Bring stuns. Death's Abyss is full of mobs and mini-bosses that have dangerous abilities, and without proper crowd control, you could be facing a wipe. Also, Strategic Rush is an absolute must-have for this dungeon, especially for the second mini-boss. Trust me, you don't want to go in without it. I'll explain why a bit later. If you've done Inspector's Abyss, you'll notice a lot of similarities with the trash mobs here, except for a couple of key differences. First, there's a new enemy, the Enchanted Archeum Healer. As the name suggests, they'll heal, so make them a priority when they appear. Second, the Enchanted Archeum Arbiter now yells, "I will wipe you all," signaling a high damage AoE attack. Stun or CC them immediately to stop it. Check out my Spectre's Abyss guide if you want more detailed information on the other mobs in the dungeon. Starting out, hug the left wall and try to limit yourself to pulling 3 mobs, a soldier, an archer, and possibly an arbiter. If your group is sneaky, you can even skip the arbiter. In the hallway after that, there's a healer, soldier, and arbiter combo again. Prioritize stunning the arbiter and focus down the healer first. You want to be cautious here since 2 arbiters patrol the room ahead. Pulling them one by one is safest, but if you end up pulling the whole room, stay calm. This is why I recommended bringing lots of stuns. After clearing them, you'll open a gate that leads to 2 larger rooms. Like before, hug the right wall to skip unnecessary fights, but watch out for patrolling arbiters. When you reach the final room, clear the casters and patrolling arbiter to avoid pulling extra enemies during the next fight. This mini-boss behaves similarly to the level 20 version. You'll deal with AoE circles on the ground, summon a static pattern, and others under players' feet. At some point, the Shadowmancer will shout, "I will end your life," and raise 3 players into the air. You need to stun or CC the boss quickly, or those 3 players will take heavy damage. Once the mini-boss is down, grab your loot and head back to the room with the gates. Another gate will open, taking you deeper into the dungeon. Going left or right here doesn't matter. You'll have to fight mobs on both sides and possibly patrolling arbiters. Someone will have to pull the switch on both sides, opening the mini-boss room, clear the mobs there, and prepare for the next mini-boss. Next, you'll face the Elite Archeum Riot Squad Captain. His mechanics are very similar to his level 20 version, but with a few upgrades. His fire line attack now has 3 prongs, and he also has a ground slam AoE. His most important mechanic is the blue shield he casts on himself. Burn it down quickly with your damage cooldowns or armor breaks, because if it stays up too long, he'll perform a high damage AoE attack. Stun the boss when he shouts, "Die!" This is where Strategic Rush becomes essential. Sometimes this boss can bug out after being stunned and get a second shield or resist stuns altogether. Strategic Rush is your most reliable way to deal with this, preventing wipes. Now it's time for the final boss, Karnix. His mechanics are mostly the same as his level 20 version with one major addition. At the start, face him away from your group to avoid his cone AoE attack that can knock you up into the air. When he says, "Chase them to the ends of the abyss," 3 players will be targeted by rotating scythes. These players need to run away, avoiding the scythes. Karnix will then teleport using his cone attack on the 2 furthest players. As the fight goes on, more and more scythes will be added to this mechanic. After scythes disappear, Karnix will announce, "I predict inevitable death." He'll target a player with a blue-black circle, and everyone needs to stack inside to share the damage. If you're late to the circle, you'll be feared, so make sure to move quickly. This is where defensive, group-wide abilities like Starward Bastion or Da Vinci's Courage can help mitigate group damage. Karnix will keep repeating these mechanics, including a 3rd teleport where he jumps behind the tank for a Fury attack. Time your block and position away from the group to avoid them getting stunned. With proper mechanics and positioning, Karnix will go down, predicting his own inevitable death. That's it for our Death's Abyss tank guide. Stick to the mechanics, control the battlefield with stuns and crowd control, and you'll have no problem clearing this dungeon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more guides. See you in Silesium.